Oh, if you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you.
And if you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need.
You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you.
And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you.
Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. 'Cause you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah.
You'll always have my shoulder when you cry. I'll never let go, never say goodbye. You know you can
Count on me like 1, 2, 3, and you'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. You can count on me 'cause I can count on you. That's my friend Jennifer right there.
That's my friend Tom. I'd like to introduce the band. That's Tom Litch.
Hey. And my backup vocalist and lead singer.
And tambourine
Jennifer,
and shaker.
tambourine.
Yeah.
So this song is an incredible song, and I think it's appropriate for this time. So this is for all of you.
Dear hate, I saw you on the news today. Like a shock, it takes my breath away. You fall like rain, cover us in drops of pain. I'm afraid that we just might drown. Dear hate, well, you sure are colorblind. Your kiss is the cruelest kind. You could poison any mind. Just look at mine. I know that this world keeps spinning round and round. You were there in the garden, like a snake in the grass. halls, but I hate to tell you,
love
is gonna conquer all.
You were smiling on that Selma Bridge in Dallas when that bullet hit and Jackie cried. You pulled those towers from the sky, but even in our darkest nights, the world keeps spinning around.
You were
There
in the garden,
like a snake in the grass.
I see you in the morning, staring through the looking glass.
Whisper
Down through history, let it go through these halls, but I hate to tell you, love is gonna conquer all. Dear love, just when I think you've given up, you were there in the garden when I ran from your voice. I see you every morning through the chaos and the noise. You still whisper down through history, echo through these halls. I hate to tell you, love is gonna conquer all. Gonna conquer all.
Wow. Welcome, welcome to our Wednesday Night Live service. What a beautiful start it is. I'm so happy to have Tom and Jennifer here tonight. I love our band, but I'm going to say I'm not missing them a lot right now. I could do this a lot more often. This is very powerful and very wonderful, and Dr. Barry's going to be speaking tonight, and you're going to have to top that. So good luck to you, my friend. No, it won't be easy at all. So we are delighted to be here and delighted that you're here with us. We are going to have one of our living room conversations this evening, and we are blessed that not only Dr. Barry and I are going to participate, but we have welcomed Tom and Jennifer to bring their beautiful voices into our conversation this evening. And we wanted to talk a little bit about the 4th of July, a holiday coming up here in a few days. And Mile High Church has a longstanding tradition of really doing it up right for the 4th of July, having a big, powerful Sunday service that's dedicated to Americana and songs for our country and all sorts of wonderful celebrations in the energy of the 4th of July. And we've shifted it up the last few years and moved it around and added some elements and taken some things away. And we really want to talk about the heart of that service tonight. And so we're going to start with you, Dr. Barry. You've been such a key part of this service. Tell us a little bit about why this is an important celebration for you.
Well, I've been a part of this since Dr. Roger came back in 1993, and this was an idea that he had, to kind of bring people back in the summer, but also just to celebrate, to celebrate our heritage and also the way that, science of mind principles and independence and self-reliance and all that. And so I really have been such a part of this in terms of getting the Jefferson quotes and the kids to do the readings and writing music and going to the Little League to get bunting and just all kinds of stuff to put in this. So it's been interesting for me the last couple of years to just see that this service doesn't really connect with everybody, and I get that, and it's given me an opportunity this year especially to really look into the things that I can really celebrate, all the goodness that there is to celebrate, and that there's a shadow here too, and I need to embody that and see that, and it's a part of my growth personally, but it's also a part of our growth as a church and as a country.
So that shadow's been sort of like a part of our unconscious bias that we've been talking about, we've been hearing a lot about.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
it has. Just the fact that not everybody was free in 1776.
Right.
And, so I've been doing a lot of reading about that and doing a lot of studying about that. And it's good for me to look at those things and to just see, some of the heroes that I have, like Thomas Jefferson, one of my greatest heroes, that there's a shadow there. And this is a great time in our history when we get to do something to embody that and to move forward.
Beautiful. Thank you. And how about you two? We start with you, beautiful Jennifer Burnett. What is your reasoning and part of what you love about celebrating this holiday and doing this here at Mile High Church?
Well, anybody who's on staff here on the creative team knows that I'm one of the most patriotic people on staff, and probably the most patriotic person on the creative team. And I love America, and I love the good about America. I love the beauty that is America. I love all the good parts. When I was growing up, my mom used to tell me, if there's a book you like, or a reading you like, or a religion you like, or whatever, take the parts that work for you and leave the rest behind. And the point is, become a good person. And so I kind of look at my country in that same way. Like, I can fully love my country for the good that my country has done and does, right? And that doesn't mean that I don't recognize the shadow. It means that too is a part of it. But you know what? There's a shadow in me. There's a shadow in everybody up here. Right. There's a shadow in everybody in this room. And that doesn't mean that I don't like people. And I feel the same way about my country. I embrace it all as one. And I started by saying that, I'm one of the more patriotic people, especially on the creative team. And I want to acknowledge something, and that's that, besides my husband and my daughter, Tom Litch is my best friend, right? I mean, we're coworkers, and we sing together, and we make music together, and we plan things together and all of that. But Tom Litch and I disagree on a lot of things. Politically, when it comes to, what we do on the platform, what we do in a service, how we manage together, how we, all kinds of things that we disagree on.
Shoes. We disagree on shoes.
Yeah, absolutely. But that does not mean that I love or respect Tom any less. And truly, it means that his voice has made me a better person. And I hope my voice has made him a better person. And each of you, you all have made me a better person. And the more I can look at the light in each of you, and it makes me a better person, and the more I can see that in other things,
Right.
then I feel like I'm growing, and I'm working towards becoming a better person overall, while still being who I am, while still loving who I am, without putting down anybody else, without making anyone else feel less than, or less important, or less valid, or less justified, or less anything. My love for my country does not diminish my love for a person who thinks differently than I do.
Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful example of how we could all be here together. And so tell us, Tom, about your perspective on this.
Well, I guess specifically the July 4th and other holidays like that, they weren't a big deal in my family. So I didn't grow up in a church. I didn't grow up really with a whole lot of traditions. It was mostly just terrified survival, pretty much, in my family. Like many of us, I'm sure.
Right.
But without those traditions in place, the 4th of July didn't mean a whole lot to me. What I've learned of history, I believe in so much of what the founding fathers intended for this country and the ideas of equality. But I think I'm the right person to challenge some of the traditions that might not work anymore if they're not actually serving everybody. Mm-hmm. So I think the fact that Jennifer and I can come from different points of view is of great service to our community and to this congregation, because we can look at it from different points of view, different perspectives, and then what will bubble up is what serves best, mm-hmm. what serves the whole, and what we can do to honor a diverse congregation. And so I think that's exciting for me. My wife grew up in England primarily, so Thanksgiving is another one that's sort of not a big deal for us. I always volunteer to sing on Thanksgiving because...
Unless you want dinner at my house.
She's a great cook. and the food I agree with. But there, just like everyone wasn't free on the 4th of July, not everybody was celebrating on Thanksgiving either.
Right,
and
right.
So to be able to look into those things and to question those, I think is really valuable. That's how we begin to grow, mm-hmm. and not just accept tradition as okay.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful sharings. And I think we've just demonstrated one of the beautiful things about our country. I mean, I am kind of in the middle. I'm not a big tribalistic person myself. I've never really been into tribalism at all costs. I can see the beauty of other countries, and I can see the beauty of other traditions, and I can see the beauty of other cultures, and I can see the beauty of all of it without having to stand and say, mine is the best. But one of the things that I do love about this country is that we're free now. And yes, in the beginning, when we opened our country, or when we started this and we began to celebrate this, not everyone in our country was free. And I can get that too. And we are free now to celebrate freedom. And I think that's what we'll be celebrating on Sunday a bit of, is freedom, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I think it's just great that we're evolving and looking at things, and I think our evolution as a spiritual community and as a culture and as a nation is important, and we want to be a part of that. And the only way we can do it is if we keep our eyes open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for your sharing, and now we're going to head back for more music from Tom and Jennifer.
Saying I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I want you not to say it, but if you only knew how easy it would be to show me how you feel. More than words is all you have to do to make it real. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. What would you do if my heart was torn in two? More than words to show you feel that your love for me is real. What would you say if I took those words away? Then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you.
close your eyes and just reach out your hands and touch me. Hold me close, don't ever let me go. More than words is all I ever needed you to show. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. What would you do if my heart was torn in two? More than words to show you feel that your love for me is real. What would you say if I took those words away? Then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you.
Thank you, Tom and Jennifer. Great band. This is a great band right here. So good to have them with us tonight. And so welcome. So glad that you're here. My name's Barry, and I wanted to talk to you tonight about a book that I read recently that just had a lot of meaning for me. So I thought I would bring it into my talk tonight. It's called The Second Mountain. It was written by a man named David Brooks, and he's a columnist for the New York Times, and it was written actually last year, 1 year before COVID, or 1 BC as we call it now. And even though it's that old, I still think it has great meaning for our time. And it's mainly because we're in a time like no other. We're in a time of such amazing change. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, this change that we're going through and how we can embrace it consciously. We can bring a sense of joy to it and find a sense of purpose in our lives for when we move forward from this time. You know, in this book of Brooks, The Second Mountain, he describes the first mountain as that time in our lives when we're setting out and we're trying to establish ourselves, and we're looking to be a success and looking how we compare to the people around us, and we want to achieve and we want to acquire, and we climb that mountain and we do our best to make our mark. And often what happens to us is we fall off that mountain, or usually we get knocked off that mountain. It's something happens during our climb. A relationship comes apart, or our reputation is damaged by something that we've done, or we lose a job, or we lose a family member, or some incredible tragedy happens in our lives that never could have seen coming. And we find ourselves in the valley. And I think that now, in the time that we're in, we're kind of in a collective valley because so much has been taken away, and we've been forced into this kind of confined little box here. One of the things that's really interesting around this place is about planning. Here we are on July 1st, and we got no plans for the summer. And we're planners. We love to plan. And believe me, we are continuing to plan over and over on Zoom every day. And yet, something else has so much more control over what's going on, and we have to surrender to it. And we also have to find ourselves in the present moment and live in the present moment and grow in the present moment. So we're in the valley now. And what Brooks describes as the second mountain is that time when we gather force in the valley and we look to build a life on the second mountain that is connected and that has meaning and that serves other people. And it's often in the valley where we we get to see the greater picture of our lives and the greater picture of where we are, the greater picture of where we're connected and how we can make a difference. And instead of just seeking happiness, we look for joy. And that we find joy in being with other people, serving with other people, helping other people. And there's an enormous amount of work ahead of us now as we move out of this valley, and we don't know when that's going to be. We will move towards that second mountain. And what I want to talk about is how we help each other, move forward. One of the phrases that I love in his book is what he calls our moral ecology. Our moral ecology. And that's just kind of the way that we see things, the way that we operate. The people that we're around, kind of what feels right to us. What situations feel right to us. What he says is we all grow up in one moral ecology or another. We all create microcultures around us by the way we lead our lives and the vibes we send to those around us. And these moral ecologies where we find ourselves are often determined by what's happening in the world around us at the time. These natural things that are going on. You know, one of the things I'm doing now is I'm teaching this Bible workshop. And I love it because as we go through the history of the Bible and go through all the stories in the Bible, we see evolving ideas of who and what God is and how we connect with God. We begin in the Old Testament with a God who lives on a mountaintop and who protects this tribe and goes with this tribe into battle. And then many generations later, when we move into the New Testament and we move into the time of Jesus, we have this teacher telling us that God is within and that we can connect with that God if we put in the effort, put in the work, and commit ourselves to it. He not only teaches it, but shows us what a life looks like that is connected with God in that way. What a change in moral ecology that he brought to the world. And we all in our times relate to this world around us in our own individual ways as we go through different times in our culture. For me, I'm squarely in that baby boomer generation. And we were pushing against the culture that came in front of us, what seemed like the rigidity of that culture, and of being in a certain kind of box. That's the way that it felt. So we wanted to have more individual expression. We wanted to have more freedom. We wanted our moral ecology to change and to grow. And it did. And it served us. And we are still kind of in that individual, I'm going to be able to do my thing way of thinking. That ethic is still very much with us today. But we are also seeing today that we need to grow beyond it because it hasn't been working for everyone. And I think that evolution of the way that Spirit works through us is so important and such a big part of our teaching here. Ernest Holmes talked about spiritual evolution through consciousness a lot. That's a big part of it for us as individuals here. To do our work, to clean up our own stuff so that we can show up in the world and be a part of allowing God to create through us. He said, evolution is the time and the process through which an idea unfolds to a higher state of manifestation. And since ideas are divine realities, evolution will go on forever. So that's really what's going on now. We're evolving spiritually, socially. And we want to be a part of that in a healthy way. And we want to be a part of making this thing, this society, this culture, which seems so divided now. There are things that we have in common. And we can work at a grassroots level to create the kind of world that we believe in so much. Another thing I think we need to look at right now is the gifts the gifts that are in the valley, the gifts that are in the valley that we're in. One of those is that we find out what matters most to us. You know, we've been locked up with our families and our loved ones for a while, and I think we've realized, I kind of like these people. And maybe we've seen that the life that we've created is a good one, and we want to bring our attention and our focus to it. I think that we've seen that we need people, and we want to be around people. I think one of the things that when I talk to the people on the staff here that we miss the most is just getting to be with each other, getting to create with each other, getting to sit around a table together or walk into each other's office to talk. We miss that. But we'll have that again. But there are gifts that we're getting now. Another gift that we're getting is a deeper connection with spirit, with our spiritual practice. We have more time to do it. You know, I never would have thought in my wildest dreams that I would experience a summer without the sound of baseball. And yet, I've got a much deeper spiritual practice, and I got the best garden I've ever had in my life. So there's incredible good that's in it. Another thing that has happened in our culture is we have seen our shadow up close and personal. And because we were knocked off the mountain of climbing, success, distraction, entertainment, we had an opportunity to look at it. And I think that's one of the great gifts, that we're looking at it and that we're committed to doing something about it. That's one of the things that I think we're going to look back on in this time. When we look at this time, when we're sequestered, we're going to see that this is a time of great spiritual change, and we want to be a part of it now. My final point is moving from I to we. Moving from the perspective of me and what's most important to me. On the second mountain, we move to what's most important to the people around me. How can I give myself away rather than being focused on my ego and what I need? How can I focus more on how I can be of service and how I can help others? You know, in his book, Brooks says that our suffering in the valley shatters the illusion of self-sufficiency. I love that. Because we are committed to that archetype of the lone wolf. I can do it myself. I'm going to do it myself. And I think that we're finding now that we need each other. And we can see right in front of us during this time how important it is for all of us to be involved in this change, what he's calling moral ecology. If we can all be a part of it, if we can all find a way to listen to each other and to bring out the best in each other, to look for the best in each other, we can be a part of something incredible. You know, one of the things that he talks about the cultural change is that it's hard. It's hard work. And Brooks said, when a culture changes, obviously not everybody changes all at once. This is a big, diverse society, but the average behavior changes. I think what he means by that is we need to up our game individually and not count on other people to do it. And I wanted to bring up a quote for you to see here too, because I think this is the heart of it for me. This is the thing that really attracted me to this book and to this whole concept of the second mountain. He said, I want to emphasize who leads change in these moments, because it's relevant to the moment we find ourselves in today. It's not politicians who lead this kind of change. Instead, it's moral activists and cultural pioneers. Those who shape the manners and mores are the true legislators of mankind. They wield the greatest power and influence. I love that. We can't give our power away to politicians and thinks that that's where all of our power lies. This is a culture that is created by the people who are in it. And we are creating all the time, and God is creating through us all the time. There is an opportunity here that is so amazing, and we want to seize it. I want to close with a quote by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. You know, he came into his teaching at a time in the 20s, just after the end of World War I, a pandemic much like this one that caused so much destruction, caused so many people to lose faith. This was the time in the 20s, 100 years ago, and this is when he stepped onto the stage to do his teaching. And I think these words are relevant to us today. He said, "A new light is coming into the world. We are on the borderland of a new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. The invisible passes into visibility through our faith in it. A new science, a new religion, and a new philosophy are rapidly being developed. This is in line with the evolution of the Great Presence, and nothing can hinder its progress." We are a part of something big that Spirit has in mind for us, and it's good. So let's do our work, and let's climb that second mountain together. And Tom and Jennifer have a prayer for us right now.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
La luce che tu dai
I pray we'll find your light
nel cuore resterà
and hold it in our heart.
a ricordarci che
When stars go out each night,
la terna stella sei
oh,
nella mia preghiera.
let this be our prayer.
Quanta fede c'è,
When shadows fill our day,
lead us to a place,
guide us with your grace.
give us faith so we'll be safe. Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia, di speranza. Ognuno nuovo suo vicino, simbolo di pace, di fraternità. La forza che ci dai
We ask that you be kind
e il desiderio che
and watch us from above.
ognuno troviamo
We hope each soul will find
intorno e dentro sé.
another soul to love.
Let this be our prayer,
Let this be our prayer.
just like every child,
Just like every child.
needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. E la fede che hai acceso in noi. Sento che ci
Wow. Wow.
Well, that wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad at all.
That was truly a prayer.
It
A
was.
prayer.
It
Thank you
was.
so much, Tom and Jennifer. What a joy. What a joy. And great talk. Very good job, Barry.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it very much.
Thank you much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. And I noticed that you weren't socially distancing with the one other guy that's in the room
I
tonight.
know. I know.
Yeah,
I
okay.
know. He's my husband, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we are so grateful again for your presence here with us tonight. And we get to talk a little bit about what we love about Mile High Church, what's really rising forth right now, because there's so much to love about this place. But I want to invite each one of us to share something we're really loving about our community right now. Would you like to start, Barry?
Well, I'm loving that people are committed to staying connected and staying learning too. I never thought in my wildest dreams I would be teaching a Zoom class on Friday mornings to 150 people studying the Bible, and here we are, and we're having a blast doing it. And I don't know, I'm just so taken by the fact that people are committed to their learning, to this community, and I'm just always so impressed by the people who are a part of this community, and that they want to do good, and that they want to learn, and that they want to grow, and they're just fun people to be around.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm sure everybody's having a great time in that class, too. I'm sure they are.
But we got no snacks. That's the problem.
No snacks, no. Tom and Jennifer, do you two want to share anything about our community and what you're loving about it? Tom, you want to go first?
Sure, I can jump on the snacks comment, actually. I thought I originally I thought I originally made up this phrase, the COVID-19, which it's sort of like the freshman 15, but it just means I'm too close to my refrigerator a lot of the time. But I think for me, what I'm really grateful for is I miss the congregation so much. When we make music, it's such an interaction with all of you out there, and it's a give and a take, and we make the music together. And so I really miss all of you being here. And at the same time, I have to say I've received probably more emails and texts of kudos and encouragement and praise and concern, everything. I've received a lot of love, and that's just amazing. And so I can't wait to all be in the room together. And until then, I just enjoy interacting with everybody in that other way. So grateful.
Thank you. Jennifer, what about you?
Oh, wow. Well, what don't you love about Mile High Church, right? But I think what I'm maybe the most proud of is how quickly we adapted, how quickly we were able to bring church to all of you, and how quickly you adapted too. How quickly you showed up online, and we were able to be there with you and for you, and that was. Wow, it felt seamless. And there's such a proud feeling for, this production team and the music ministry, and how everyone just kind of jumped in and did what they needed to do in the moment. But beyond that the congregation jumped in and did what they needed to do in the moment. Like they needed spiritual food, and they knew where to come, and they came, and they showed up, and they're still showing up, and. Yeah, it just feels so yummy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It feels yummy.
Yummy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I also, like you, have so many things that I love about this community. But I had a moment this past week that struck me that I think I've talked about before. I was in my office here because I check in when I'm here on Wednesdays and Sundays, and I once again went through the mail and had a number of thank you cards to the church and to Josh and myself, and just beautiful expressions. There's a nice lady in our community who creates these beautiful cards with pictures of our services that she sends to us that are just so spectacular. And as I walked out of my office, I looked back into the room, and I've been keeping all the thank you cards on this little tray in my office on my desk. And I looked over, and it was starting to get bigger and bigger, and I thought to myself, I'm going to need a bigger tray. And I was so grateful in that moment. My heart just swelled with gratitude for hearing from people, hearing how they're doing, people who just mail us and let us know how they're being supported by Mile High Church. So thank you for your cards and letters and for reaching out to us in every way. We are so blessed. And so we're inviting you right now to take a moment, and if it's a fit for you, to participate in the circulation of good through tithes and offerings. And so there are a number of ways that you can give back into this community with your abundance. You can you can text to us at 45888 and put in Mile High and the amount you'd like to give. You can go to our website at milehighchurch.org and make a contribution there, or you can send a check in the mail, and there's an address that's up on your screen. So we thank you so much for that, and as we do this together, please join me now as we take a deep breath and we give thanks for the abundant, flowing good that God is as us and as our lives and as all of the good that flows through us. We know that we are blessed by it and that we share it, and know that our blessings go forth into our world, and that we are in the circle of love and the circle of gratitude and the circle of good constantly. I give thanks and let it be, and so it is.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in?
Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screens, but no one seems to hear a thing?
Do you know that there's still a chance for you? 'Cause there's a spark in you, and you just gotta ignite the light
And let it shine just on the night, like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go,
oh, oh, oh,
as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go, oh, oh, oh. You're gonna leave 'em all in, oh, oh, oh.
You don't have to feel like wasted space. You're original, you cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds, after a hurricane comes a rainbow.
Maybe the reason why all the doors are closed, so you can open one that leads you to that perfect road.
Like a lightning bolt, your heart will glow, and when it's time you'll know, you just gotta ignite the light and let it shine just on the night, like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you were. Make 'em go,
oh, oh, oh. and show 'em what to work. Make 'em go as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go You're gonna leave 'em all in boom, boom, boom.
Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon.
Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer and Tom. What a beautiful, beautiful night this has been with your music. And we're going to step into some time of prayer right now. In our teaching, in our spiritual community, we do affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. And so I'm going to lead us in that. And at some point in this prayer this evening, there will be spaces for you to speak aloud your name or the name of someone that you would like to extend this prayer to. You can say it out loud right where you are. You can think it, whatever works for you. Please join me. We just take this moment and breathe in this very breath of life together. And we start with the recognition of the divine life that expresses itself in, through, and as all of creation. This is our definition of God, the divine, the source, the infinite, the intelligence of this universe. It is everywhere present in everything as all creation. It is every person and every process, every relationship and every activity. It is the wholeness of creation. It is the expression of that which we love and find beautiful and glorious. And it is there also in those places and spaces and even people that we find challenging. It is in the light that we are, and it is in that shadow aspect that we are. Spirit, God's source, is in every nook and cranny of this universe, in every heart, in every body, in everything. And because this life is all there is, then right here and right now, I know that I am immersed in it, that it is expressing itself through me, through every word I speak, through every thought I think, through my consciousness, through all that I am right now in this prayer. Spirit, God's source, is right here, and I accept and affirm that this is the truth of every person within the sound of my voice. That this power, this presence, this light, this principled one that is everywhere present is right where every one of us is. And so as we gather together in this moment, whether we're in the now moment watching this service live or down the road days or weeks or even years, I know that this timeless place that God is, this timeless expression that God is, touches us right where we are. And we are united and one. One in God, one in life, one with each other right here and right now. And I affirm and know that God, this infinite source, is love made visible. Is a love that absolutely expresses itself through all, in all, as all. And this evening I declare and affirm love in each one of our lives. And so if there's anyone whose heart we would like to affirm and see and remind ourselves is the love that God is, we speak their name or think of them right now. And if it's us, we affirm this for ourselves, that love wins. Love is the truth of who we are. And I know that God, its infinite presence, is health and well-being, is vitality and aliveness at every level. And so I invite us to take a moment right here and right now to claim and affirm love for ourselves and for any person in our world that we choose to extend the affirmation of health and well-being to. God expresses as abundance, flowing in all resources, in all ways, in money, in time, in energy. There is more than enough God. There is more than enough good. There is more than enough. And so we take a moment and affirm and claim for ourselves or anyone in our life great abundance, flow happening in and through and as right here and right now. And peace. The infinite presence is peace. Peace and assurance at the deepest level. When we breathe into it, we can feel it. And I claim that God is peace. And wherever we are, God is. Therefore, we are peace right here, right now. And so we claim for ourselves or anyone else a deeper peace, a greater sense of peace. And I give thanks. I give glorious thanks for the reverberation of prayerfulness that has gone forth not only from this room, but in households, in minds and hearts, everywhere. The greatest gift that we can give is a prayer of affirmation. And we've just given ourselves and those we've included in this prayer a powerful, profound gift. And I'm so grateful on behalf of all these prayers for this good that is now made visible in our lives. And so in love and faith, I simply release this prayer into the law that makes it so, knowing that it is done as it has been spoken. We let it go. We let it be. We take a deep breath, and so it is. Amen. It's so good to be together, and we hope that you will join us for Sunday, as we've been talking about July 5th at 10 a.m. Reverend Josh will be speaking. We've got Troy Horn here. We've got great music. We'll be speaking about the spirit of resilience. And so we hope you will be with us for this wonderful, wonderful service. And next Wednesday night, Reverend Simon will be with us to share a Wednesday night live with us. And so please join us at 7 o'clock once again here. We've always got great things happening, so go to the website at milehighchurch.org and find out more about what's going on. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for being here. Let's release and let it go, shall we?
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
I have grown weary from all of this trying. My soul is still crying for something that's true. I know you can heal me. Sometimes I can feel you. And I know I'm the reason you're finding it hard to get through. 'Cause I've got my own little stories, and I build them around me like walls. but they just get in the way till I can't hear what you say when you call. So I will step aside and let your love move through me. My heart is open wide. I've been hiding so long, a candle in the darkness, and all along you know me, just waiting for the time I'd be still enough to hear your song.